What's up you guys, welcome to another Java tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you something called switch. And if you're saying what the heck is switch, well just type along with me and I promise you will get it by the end of this tutorial. So let's go ahead and import the scanner class because we want to get some input from user. I mean, why not? So let's go ahead and import it real quick, and let's create an object from the scanner class and let's name it input. I mean, you can name your object whatever you want, but I just decided to name it input. And scanner system in. And if you guys don't remember what this line of code means, is basically, hey Java, we're creating an object from the scanner class because we want to get some data from the user. And let's go ahead and declare a variable real quick, and the type is going to be int, and the name of it is number. I mean, why not? And let's go ahead and print something. Let's see, system out print line, and we want to tell the user enter an int here. And right here we just want to set number equals to input dot next int. And what this line of code will allow you to do is basically whatever the user inputs and presses enter, it will be stored in a variable called number. Simple enough. You guys should know what all this means because I explained it in previous tutorials. But now let's get to the good stuff. So now basically the syntax of switch is basically switch. And what switch means, okay, I'm just going to demonstrate it for you guys and I promise you'll get it. It takes in one parameters. What is the thing that you want to check? Well, I want to check number, which is what the user inputs. So what basically, like the syntax of the body of switch is basically this. In the case of 1, what do you want to do? And if you're saying, okay, what the heck does that mean? I'm just going to explain it right now, but let's just put a simple print statement saying the number is number. Break. And what this line of code basically means is saying, okay, when the user inputs 1, execute this line of code right here. So let's just copy, duplicate this, and let's change that to 2, 3, and 4. So what these basically mean is it's just like a simple print statement, but it's kind of like better because if you were to write if statements for each of these, you're gonna be like, okay, if it is this, you know, do this. If it is this, then do this. If it is that, then do this. But this is such a nicer and a neater way of doing it. Okay, so you're passing in an argument here and you're saying, okay, I want to check this thing. Okay, if number is 1, execute this line of code and break it. And what break means, if this line of code got executed, get the heck out. Leave this. Done. You know, execute the program. It is done. I'm over. And if you didn't put break here, it will just continue executing the other lines of code because, I mean, it's stupid. It doesn't know what to do. You got to tell it everything. And then if number is 2, is going to execute this line of code. If number is 3, is going to execute this line of code. And there's one thing that I also want to show you guys is something called default. And what default means is basically if none of these were the case, like if number is not 1, 2, 3, or 4, like now what should I do? Let's just go ahead and type system out print line and just say this is not on the list. So I mean, let's type this up a little bit so it looks nice and beautiful, and I think this is pretty much it. So let's go ahead and run that. see if I don't have any errors. You guys know that I can beatbox. All right, so enter an int here. So let's go ahead and input 1. Press enter, and it says the number is 1. And what basically happened is this. Okay, we didn't take anything, but we created an object from the scanner class, and we basically got an input from a user, and we used switch, and it said, okay, if the number is 1, execute this line of code right here. And it did execute this line of code, and it break. So it just executed and it got out. Let's just demonstrate one more example. Let's say if I inputted a number that is not a 1, 2, or 3, or 4. So what will happen if I just input 7? It will say this is not on the list, and it basically executed this line of code right here. It's saying, okay, the number that you inputted, it's not a 1, it's not a 2, it's not a 3, it's not a 4. Oh, I don't know what you inputted, so I'm just gonna run this line of code right here. So this is what basically switch is, and it's pretty damn useful, and it looks so much neater and so much beautiful than just simple if statements. I mean, why not do this instead of like, you know, old if statements? I mean, you can do whatever you want. But this is pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.